History knows no resting place and no plateaus. That quote is by the unforgivable Henry Kissinger. There's a lot to not like about Kissinger, but he said at least one good sentence. Where do I go with this? Okay. Last few years, I've been studying a lot about philosophy, and especially how philosophies lead to policy in politics in our world, right? People's ideas of how the world works leads them to try and enact those ideals for better and usually for worse. And one of the reoccurring philosophies that keeps coming up, just warning now, this is going to turn into a long video, I think. Okay. One of the philosophies that keeps coming up is the idea of the end of history. I think this started with Hegel. He's one of the first people I know who had this kind of idea, and he's one of those philosophers that everybody else is like rehashing his ideas and make him into new stuff. And one of his ideas was that the universe was created with a goal, a purpose in mind. God set the universe in motion as a machine with a specific outcome. And Hegel's belief was that the outcome was to produce a mind that could understand the universe itself. He never directly said that the whole purpose of the universe was just to make him, but he kind of implied it. He really implied that he was the purpose of the universe, and that him finishing his philosophical thesis was the purpose and end of the universe. And then he died and the universe kept going, so apparently he was wrong on that. But all of his students and many, many philosophers who admired him later picked up this idea again. Nietzsche had this idea of the purpose was to produce the Übermensch who would break away from all societal restrictions and controls to become the perfect person. But he also feared that there would be the opposite end, the last man that would give in to the inertia of history and stop trying to do anything interesting. Which, if you take Nietzsche as a personal philosophy of like living your own life, there's a lot you can get from it. When people start to take him as like talking about the entire world and not just like an individual mythology, it gets really weird and problematic to think like, oh, I have to personally become the perfect human or else like the end of the world will happen and everybody else is just going to give up. It sounds kind of crazy to say that and think that the whole world rests on your shoulders, but a lot of Nietzscheans do that. It's a thing. Going forward, Marx had the same idea, or similar idea, right? All of history was these stages of economic growth, economic change, and that once capitalism had run its course, then communism would take over and be the final stage of human history, and it would end all bad things, and nothing important would ever happen again, but also nothing bad would ever happen, because everything would be solved. Then Actually, before Fukuyama, Mustache Man from World War II, whose name I can't say on any of these apps, also kind of believed that his philosophy was going to fix the world, or at least like lead to a 1,000-year perfect utopian government. Also proved very wrong. Then I think it was Fukuyama in the 90s said that liberal democracy was the end goal of the universe, and that once communism was defeated, democracy was be the perfect government and would solve all social problems because it was just perfect and everything would just refine to perfection, and capitalism would solve all economic problems and there would never be another downturn or scarcity ever again. Also turned out wrong. Now we've got the singularity movement saying that if we can just computer hard enough, they will solve all problems and like start improving themselves to become omnipotent godlike beings, give us a utopian life possibly in a computer simulation, and hopefully not just exterminate all organics and carry on being their own awesome selves instead of us. Anyway, all of these philosophies, all these ideas that history will stop at some point. History will just take a break. History will stop being history because obviously our generation, my generation, me personally, is the most important thing, and after me, everything's not going to matter. It's all bullshit. It never works. History always keeps historying. That's how linear time works. I don't know how to say it simpler, but this philosophy, this idea that history will have resting places, plateaus, ends, goals, it is incredibly common, incredibly prevalent. It makes no fucking sense. But emotionally, I also can I can intellectually understand that everyone wants to think, well, I'm the most important thing. I'm where it stops. I'm the end goal. Yay me. But it's not. All right. I'm not even sure if this is going to fit into a TikTok length video anymore after all this yapping, but there's your quote of the morning. History knows no resting place and no plateaus. Henry Kissinger. May he rest in piss.